What up, people? You know, well, let me get my introduction out of the way. IOBA, my name is TC. You know, nothing gets me in the mood to talk my shit more than when I go over to Democracy Now! Or Al Jazeera or somewhere and listen to a little bit about the genocide in Gaza. Now, people, I guess, that look at my shit don't understand. I'm a serious-minded individual. I like to break shit down to a common format that people like me, can understand, regular working folk. But I do know what's important, how to connect fucking dots, things of that nature. So when I compare what's happening to the Palestinians to what's happening to black Americans, I know from where I fucking speak. You dig me? So I'm looking at Democracy Now! And it's just going on and on and on. And it seems like the closer we get to Donald Trump's inauguration, the wider and more crazy this war getting. I'm, like I said, I am an amateur, right? But I've been around a long time. I watched the Vietnam conflict. I watched the first Persian Gulf War, the second Gulf War. I watched a whole bunch of shit. I got history all in my head, and this is a standard operating model. The big old land grab about to happen. It's like they want to keep just enough Palestinians around to cut their grass and clean their toilets, but everybody else has to die so we can take your land. And then with what's going on in Syria, they going crazy, bombing the shit. When Donald Trump gets in office, he did say he gonna unleash all hell or something on everybody that attack Israel. Anyway, Donald Trump is talking like he gonna escalate the war, and he gonna make it a real war. And Israel is gonna get everything it wants, and it's got to get it real fast. It's some crazy shit. That's why I say it's all a game, but it's a very serious game. It's all being played out in that area of the world right now. It relates to us, black people, because we are the poor foot soldiers and cannon fodder that they're going to use when they start sending troops into that area. In large numbers, I mean. Otherwise, the United States ain't got no use for your black ass. You just a surplus labor force, I guess, unless they're going to force y'all to do the work that the undocumented people won't do. Lock your ass up in prison and take you to the goddamn bean field and bring you back to the prison. That type of shit. Lock your ass up in prison, take you to the meat processing plant and bring you back to fucking prison. Or better yet, put the meat processing plant right inside the fucking prison. Slave labor. That's what's going to happen. That's already happening. What the fuck? And that's where y'all heading. I say y'all because I done got old. They ain't got no use for a nigga like me. But I wouldn't put it past them to come for seniors. They're already trying to take niggas' Social Security money. But anyway, shit crazy. And it's serious at the same time. And I'm saying all this to say, because a lot of people don't want to look at no news. They want to stay blissfully ignorant. That's how my coworkers are. I love them to death, but they don't be wanting to hear this shit. So that's why I come here and talk my shit into the internet, and whoever want to hear it, hear it. But it's out there. And everybody's sending their sons and daughters into the military because they like how they look in the uniform. But this is what militaries have to do. How you gonna feel if Donald Trump tell your son or your daughter that they got to go out in the street and put down a riot? That they got to shoot on people from another neighborhood where the people look just like where they came from? How your son or daughter who you sticking in the ROTC because you like how they look in that uniform, how you think that's going to make them feel when they have to take up arms and march against protesters of police brutality when Donald Trump get in office? Because he said he's going to put the military in the streets. He said that is what he's going to do. But being that the police department is militarized, there you go. You see? So you can't be blissfully unaware of what's going on in the world and why one thing leads to another. You can't be like, you can't take part in your own subjugation. You really can't do the shit like that. That's counterproductive. You know what I'm saying? You can't take part in your own fucking subjugation. And that's what staying like stupid does. Because before you know it, you might not be a slave, but 2 or 3 of your family members are. Whoever goes to jail. And I work at a high school. And I see some fucking behavior by some 16 and 17-year-olds that's going to land them straight there. I don't say anything because they don't want to hear from somebody like me. So I talk to the internet and I tell y'all. But you got to keep this genocide forward in your mind. You know what I'm saying? You look at the nightly news and you don't hear shit about it. You look at a lot of other channels and you don't hear shit about it. But it's going on and it's getting worse. Dozens and dozens, I'm saying hundreds and hundreds of women and children and old men, shit, and young men too, people being slaughtered. It's just crazy. And at the same time, we are, as black Americans, are watching our people get slaughtered, albeit a lot slower, and return to slavery. Who do you think gonna have to pick all them goddamn oranges and all that produce and shit? We used to do that shit. I used to go myself. That's how we paid for our school clothes. After we made enough money for the day, we bullshitted the rest of the afternoon while the grown people made their money. But we'll work just enough to make enough for that day to go to the party that night or whatever. That's what we did before the regular summer jobs came along. Once we got grown, which was in like the 70s, we all got regular factory jobs. By we, I mean every goddamn body that I knew that wanted a job got one. That's for real. I mean, I stayed at mine for 20 fucking years without a break. I should have used them 20 years somewhere else, but there I sat. But they still paying a nigga. So, there's that. That's why I tell people, get somewhere and stay there. But, that's pretty much gone away now. That shit don't matter now because no company has no loyalty to no individual. So that goddamn statement is kind of dead. Get somewhere and stay there. Nah, I can't say that. But you got to be aware. You can't be ignorant, and you can't be like totally clueless about what's going on in the world and how it affects your fucking people. You can't do that. Before I go, I'm going to say one more thing about Daniel Penny, right? And how he got away with this murder. There's a channel called the Jimmy Dore Show. And this goofy motherfucker claimed to be a leftist. But he really a racist. He's really a racist piece of shit. Go over there and listen to him. Nah, don't go over there. Listen to a clip of him talk about BLM is calling for violence because Daniel Penny was found innocent. And the way he described what happened, and I told y'all, as somebody who works with that population, I find that shit highly offensive. And coming from a motherfucker like racist like Jimmy Dore, who got millions of people following him, that's even worse. Nobody deserves to die because they're having a fucking mental breakdown. Nobody deserves to die because they're having a mental breakdown and then the killer get turned into a fucking superhero by everybody white. Nobody deserves to die for having a mental breakdown and his killer get turned into a fucking superhero. That's some bullshit. He might be a hero to y'all, but he'll never mean shit to me. Shout out Public Enemy. Anyway, thanks for coming by and listening to me talk my shit. Hit the subscribe button on your way out, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.